Good afternoon. Welcome to another episode of Spilling Tea. I'm your host, Tiffany Daniels. We'll get to the JRC in a moment, but first, the disclaimer. If you're unfamiliar with the Stop the Shocks campaign or the campaign against the troubled teen industry, all pertinent links are going to be right there in the description box for you. Should you like to do a deep dive on either subject, you should definitely be able to do so. Trigger warning, this channel is marked not for kids for a reason. I do use profanity. And when we talk about places like the Judge Rotenberg Educational Center, you're going to hear vivid descriptions of and catch clips of surveillance footage of people with mental health issues and disabled people being tortured and abused. So if you have children that watch the channel that are 16 and younger, parental supervision, very much advised. Now, the article we're getting ready to read was originally done back November the 16th of 2023. But the most recent update on it was from March 5th, 2025. So we're going to read through it, and yes, we're going to be busting it up into pieces. And of course we know what this is about, considering we've all seen this photo on this channel multiple times. So, let's go ahead and get to it, alright? It says, the Judge Rotenberg Center in Massachusetts has been the subject of controversy since the 1970s. Finally, somebody who was willing to do a little bit of digging. See, the problem is not just the GED, it is adversives as a whole. It is nice to see someone understand that and actually read the horrifying history from the JRC and what they have done in the past, instead of just focusing on the GED. It's not something a whole lot of news folks do, so I'm glad to see that there. Throughout its history, it has been criticized for human rights abuses and aversive punishments for children, young people, and adults with autism spectrum condition. It is autism spectrum disorder. Oh my god. It's literally called ASD. It's a condition. Now, you get skin conditions. When you have autism, you have a developmental disorder or delay. It is literally called ASD for a reason. You don't just get to change words because you feel like it. Okay? Learning disabilities and problem behaviors. You come at me with one of those devices, you're going to see problem behavior. I guarantee you that. Today, it remains the only institution in the United States that applies electric shocks to correct undesirable behaviors using the archaic graduated electronic decelerator strapped to the students' bodies. At Studio 3, we do not believe in any form of punishment for behaviors and continue to campaign not only for the reduction but the eradication of restrictive practices. In other words, we are well aware of the fact that corporal punishment doesn't cure anybody of autism, mental health issues, or any other developmental issues that you may be experiencing or a diagnosis that you may have. Right? We don't think physical punishment is the answer, nor do we believe it's medicine. It's about time somebody said it. Don't even get me started. Oh wait, we're on the JRC. I already am. And cannot be tolerated within a caring profession where our role as educators and supporters is to better understand and protect individuals in our care, not to punish them or try to make them conform to neurotypical ideals of good behavior. Thank you! And thank you for saying ideals. I want you to remember that word. It's an important, because the type of neurotypical they want us to be doesn't exist in the real world. Have you looked at neurotypicals lately? We are well on the track of mutually assured destruction at this point. I don't ever want to hear again how I'm supposedly irrational. I'm not the one that's like racing towards you, with you all, towards mutually assured destruction, okay? I don't get into my feelings, I get into my facts. Okay? It's a fan-fictionalized version of what a neurotypical should be. And how they want you to be able to reach that goal. And the fact that what each person has in their head, an idealized version of neurotypical, that is what they're trying to turn you into. They're not actually trying to make you like your true neurotypical peers. Well, you can't curse. Have you never been to a high school parking lot? Because there is cursing, there is smoking, there's people getting it on the back of their cars. There's the dude getting ready to come in who got permission to leave early because it's hunting season with a freaking shotgun mounted on the back of his geriatric truck. I have very specific memories. Okay? Smoking, drinking, fighting. Alright? That is neurotypical teenagehood. Alright? But they want us to not curse. You always gotta dress clean and nice. No, never mind those neurotypicals who pay over $100 for professionally ripped jeans. No. We're gonna make you stand out by making you dress practically like... You get where I'm going, right? It's not real. All the hoops you're trying to force us towards an ideal that doesn't actually exist in the real world. And what that ideal looks like depends on the doctor that you're dealing with. Now imagine that, because as you age, hopefully your doctors are changing too, that better specialize with people like you within your age bracket, right? So what they might think you need to become more neurotypical than neurotypical may be different from what a doctor down the road thinks it does. So now you have to recalibrate. Now you're not only having to mask to pretend to be neurotypical, but you better be able to also mask by showing each individual doctor the version of neurotypical that they prefer. Or remember, if you're not willing to, you just don't want to get better. No, I just don't want to conform to your standards. When those standards can't even be met by actual neurotypicals within my age bracket right now. Not even kidding. Okay? So I'm glad that they use ideals of good behavior. Because, yeah. But there are some neurotypical teenagers who do it. Those neurotypical teenagers are doing the exact thing as autistic teenagers were doing. Masking. Those uptight, holier-than-thou individuals are some of the wildest people behind closed doors you will ever meet in your life. Believe me, I know. This article will look briefly at the long history of abusive practices at the Judge Rotenberg Center, discuss the recent Supreme Judicial Court ruling allowing electric shock treatment to be continued to be practiced, and the question why such practices are allowed to persist in modern times. Alright, we're just going to stick with the intro to the day, folks. I am trying to make these videos shorter and a lot more palatable to be able to go through. Not all of us have a whole lot of time on our hands, especially now. So we're going to go ahead and close out on this one. We don't get very many views on this channel. The few we do tend to get removed from time to time. So folks, if you would be so kind, please don't forget to hit the like button, hit subscribe, and as always, folks, please don't forget to hit the comments. I do indeed appreciate your time, and as always, we here at Spilling Tea absolutely do hope you have a good one. I will see you all next time. Bye-bye, everyone.